Lando Norris, with a whole lot of luck, wins the Brazilian GP sprint race, all thanks to the help from the virtual safety car. And that's exactly what we're diving into in today's video. But before we get into the race itself, let's take a look at what Piastri said before it all kicked off. He mentioned that depending on how things go during the sprint, he'd be willing to give up his spot to Lando Norris. He said this pre-race, openly saying he'd let Norris through because, in his view, it's all about playing for the team. Norris needs those points in the Drivers' Championship and all that. Piastri has accepted that he's got no real shot at the title anymore. Even if he technically still has a mathematical chance, that chance is tiny. So he's made it clear he's ready to help Lando out as the season wraps up. We love a bit of drama. We love seeing the guys battling it out on the track and all, but he's focused on the team. Which, honestly, makes sense now that Piastri's out of the running and Norris still has a chance. I think it's fair, I think it's smart. I don't see an issue. My problem is more when teams start handing out orders with 3, 4 races in, halfway through the season. But now, when we're nearing the end, one of them has a real chance, and the other doesn't unless there's some miracle. I don't mind seeing that teamwork. I'm curious what you think about it though. Let me know. Now, let's get into the race itself. It was awesome to see 3 teams in close contention for quite a while. It's always cool when there's that chance for multiple winners. We had both McLarens with Leclerc and Verstappen right on their heels, keeping up with them for most of the sprint. That's how it was for a good part of the race. Verstappen, right at the start, almost rear-ended Leclerc and had his tires smoking. He nearly went straight into him. But the key takeaway here is this. First of all, Leclerc made a bunch of mistakes. Verstappen even called him out on the radio, saying something like, "Come on, Charles, you're making way too many mistakes." After that, Verstappen overtook him, leaving Leclerc behind. You could even see Leclerc easing off a bit because, for whatever reason, that Ferrari had 0 pace. And Red Bull? Huge surprise. Their pace was amazing. It really seems like they're getting back on track, not just a random 1 or 2 race fluke. Red Bull seems to be back on the path to winning. Verstappen was consistently faster throughout the stints, lap after lap. And when he overtook Leclerc, it was obvious he was about to hunt down both McLarens. McLaren looked like they were gonna have an easy win based on practice sessions, but it turned out quite the opposite, especially after they didn't switch positions. It all built up this expectation that things could go south fast, and Verstappen was about to overtake both McLarens. It was pretty clear, right up until the virtual safety car came in. Now, here's the thing with the virtual safety car I want to lay out for you. They waited until McLaren switched positions to bring it in. Hülkenberg was already parked there, engine smoking, close to the track, and no virtual safety car. Just a yellow flag until McLaren made the swap. Then boom, virtual safety car. This kind of thing is why people get frustrated with the FIA and the stewards. Sure, it's probably more on the stewards than the FIA, but of course people are gonna complain. Why? Because in theory, that delay shouldn't have happened. When you've got a car stopped that close to the track, isn't that what safety regulations are for? And I've said it plenty of times on the channel, it's mostly just lip service for us fans. If you're the kind of fan that falls for the FIA's narrative, well, fair enough. But yeah, the virtual safety car came at such a convenient time. That's one more point for Norris. Maybe it won't make a huge difference in the end. Still, they waited until the swap to bring it in. Verstappen should be pretty happy though. He only lost 2 points to Norris, and most importantly, he proved he's got the pace to fight for the win. Unless both McLaren and Red Bull start messing with their setups before quali during the open park period, who knows, they could change things. But then again, sometimes changes don't go as planned, sometimes the cars come out worse. So if Red Bull changes their setup and it backfires, McLaren is in a strong position to win the Grand Prix. Ferrari's also gonna be looking to fine-tune their car because their performance just wasn't there the entire race. Leclerc kept up for a bit, sure, but Sainz was just way off the pace, really far behind. And after Leclerc was overtaken, he backed off too, basically threw in the towel. Ferrari really didn't seem to have much confidence in their setup for this sprint. Moving on to Hamilton, yeah, his race wasn't great, really poor showing. Perez, though? He did well. And that just goes to show how much Red Bull's car is improving because even Perez looked good. He gained 5 places, scored a point, and ended up 8th. Gasly held on to 7th, which is fantastic for an Alpine. Russell was kind of just there, didn't really do much, running a quiet race. Behrman had some good fights but got overtaken. Colapinto gained 2 spots. And Aston Martin, honestly, I don't even need to go there. It was an all-around disaster. They started from the pit lane, but it's the same story we've been talking about for ages. So to wrap it all up, the sprint race takeaway is that Red Bull was way stronger than expected, and McLaren's gotta stay on their toes about it. If they're gonna play the team game for Norris, they need to do it ASAP because both the team and the driver still seem to lack the championship mindset needed to push for the title. But what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and thanks for tuning in. Catch you in the next one.